All right, let's jump right in. So, you're moving to the United States. That's a huge step. But getting a handle on the finance and tax systems, phew, it can feel like you're trying to learn a whole new language, right? Well, think of this as your roadmap. We're going to break down the core ideas and give you some real actionable steps so you can navigate all of this with confidence from day one.
Okay, so you've probably sorted out the big stuff, the visa, the travel plans, maybe even where you're gonna live. But what about your money, your financial life? Let's be real, the US system is notoriously complex. For a newcomer, it can be seriously intimidating. I mean, where do you even start? Well, that's exactly what we're gonna tackle today, piece by piece. All right, first things first, before you can do anything, earn money, invest, or even just file your taxes correctly, you need an identity in the US financial system. And no, I'm not talking about your passport or your visa. I'm talking about how the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, sees you. So let's talk about a key piece of this puzzle, the ITIN. That stands for Individual Taxpayer Identification Number. Now, this is a super important number for anyone who has to file a US tax return but can't get a social security number. The best way to think about it, it's like a tracking number, but just for the IRS. Its one and only job is to help them process your taxes. That's it. And this is absolutely crucial to understand because it's where a lot of people get tripped up. You've got two different keys to the system here. An SSN, or Social Security number, that's all about your authorization to work and your future benefits. But an ITIN, totally different. It has absolutely nothing to do with your work status. It is purely 100% a tool for the IRS to handle your taxes. Getting this distinction right from the get-go is, well, it's everything. Okay, so once you have your tax identity sorted out, what's next? Well, now it's time to build your financial reputation. And in the US, that means one thing, creating a credit history. I love this idea of a financial footprint because without one, you're kind of invisible. Lenders, landlords, even the phone company, they can't see you. And this really drives home just how important this is, like from the second you land. We're not talking about some far off goal like buying a house. A credit score impacts your daily life right away. Want to rent an apartment? They'll check it. Need to get a smartphone or set up your internet? Yep, they're gonna look at it to decide how big your security deposit needs to be. It's everywhere. So the big question is, how do you actually build credit from zero? It feels like a catch-22, right? The good news is you definitely have options. For some people, you might be able to transfer an existing credit card history from back home. Another great path is a secured credit card, where you basically put down a deposit. Or, and this is a really interesting one, you can find specialized programs designed just for people in your exact situation. And speaking of those specialized programs, let's talk about a really cool, kind of a little known tool. It's called the Foreign Executive Lease Program. Honestly, this is a fantastic under-the-radar option for certain professionals. It's basically a shortcut designed to solve that whole you need credit to get credit problem. So here's the deal with this program. First, you have to be in the US on a specific type of temporary work visa, like an H-1B or an L-1. Then, through this program, you can lease a new Ford or Lincoln. And here's the magic part. You can get the best interest rate, what they call a Tier 1 rate, without having any prior US credit history. This is huge. It doesn't just get you a car, it kickstarts your credit file with a positive payment history right from the start. Okay, we've talked about your financial identity and how to build credit. Now let's move on to, well, the big one, taxes. The US tax system is famous for its global reach. And what you owe really boils down to one critical question. What is your residency status in the eyes of the IRS? Seriously, this is the million-dollar question, and the answer changes everything. Because if the IRS says you are a resident for tax purposes, guess what?
you're generally taxed on your worldwide income. Yep, money you earn anywhere on the planet. But if you're a non-resident, you're typically only taxed on the income you make from U.S. sources. Huge difference, right? So how in the world does the IRS figure this out? Well, it's not based on your visa, and it's not based on how much you feel like you live here. It's actually a math problem. It all comes down to a formula called the substantial presence test. This is the main tool they use to see if you've spent enough time in the US to be taxed like a resident. Okay, here's the formula itself. Stick with me, it's not as scary as it looks. The test looks at the last 3 years. It takes all the days you were in the US this year, plus 1/3 of the days you were here last year, plus 1/6 of the days from the year before that. You add all those up, and if your grand total of these weighted days is 183 or more, boom, you are a US tax resident for the year. Let's run a quick example so you can see how this plays out. Imagine you spent exactly 120 days in the US for the last 3 years straight. Well, you take 120 from this year, plus 1/3 of 120 from last year, plus 1/6 of 120 from the year before, and your total comes out to 180 weighted days. That is just under the 183-day line. So in that case, you would not be a tax resident. It just goes to show you, every single day really matters. Okay, but let's say you do pass that test. You're officially a US tax resident. Your homework isn't done yet, because your obligations don't stop with just paying tax on your income. The US government also wants to know about the financial assets you have outside the country. And believe me, this catches a lot of newcomers completely by surprise. The first thing you need to know about is called the FBAR. Now, this is a weird one because it's not actually a tax form you send to the IRS. It's a report you file with a totally different agency called FinCEN, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. The whole point is just transparency. If the total of all your foreign accounts goes over a certain amount, you have to tell them about it every year. And the second requirement is called FATCA. The easiest way to think about this is that FBAR and FATCA are two sides of the same coin. Under FATCA, your foreign bank is now required to report your accounts directly to the IRS. Then, you also have to report those same accounts to the IRS on a form with your tax return. It's basically a trust but verify system. The bank tells them, and you tell them, making sure everything lines up. Phew! Okay, I know that was a lot. We've gone from financial identity to building credit, all the way into some pretty complex tax rules. So let's boil this all down into a clear, simple point. The key things you need to remember as you get started here. So here it is, your newcomer's checklist. Just 4 things. Number 1, clarify your ID. Figure out if you need an SSN or an ITIN. Number 2, build credit now. Don't wait. Look into things like those specialized lease programs. Number 3, know your residency status. Do the math on that substantial presence test so you know where you stand. And finally, number 4, report your foreign assets. Understand FBAR and FATCA so you don't get hit with nasty penalties. If you nail these 4 points, you'll be on a fantastic path forward. So, as you get settled, I want to leave you with this thought. You've already crossed the physical borders to get here, but are you ready to navigate the financial ones? Because moving to a new country isn't just about geography. It's about learning to see and navigate these invisible systems that really shape your life and your opportunities. And taking charge of your finances from the start, that's one of the most powerful moves you can possibly make.